Welcome to the deep dive. So picture this, Phuket, right? Stunning beaches, that vibrant culture, just that feeling of real paradise. Today we're zeroing in on something pretty fascinating there. Investing in eco-friendly luxury villas in Phuket.
Yeah, it's quite the proposition, isn't it? Blending that really high-end living with, well, a real commitment to sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like maybe luxury itself is evolving.
Absolutely. And to help us explore this, we're using an article from Ocean Worldwide. Now, these guys aren't just anyone. They're a luxury real estate agency based right there in Phuket, and they've been there since 2004.
Wow, since 2004. That's a long time in that market.
It really is. The director, Sandra O'Neill, she's apparently helped thousands of families and investors over the years, and their whole focus is luxury residential stuff in Phuket and also Koh Samui. So they really know this specific niche.
That kind of long-term, on-the-ground experience, well, it definitely gives their perspective a lot of weight, especially on Phuket investment.
Exactly. So for you listening, this deep dive is really about figuring out if putting money into these sustainable luxury villas in Phuket is, a smart decision. Can you actually get that luxury feel and be environmentally conscious? We want to give you the core knowledge quickly without it being overwhelming.
Right. Our mission here is basically to pull out the key takeaways about this kind of investment, straight from what Ocean Worldwide is saying. Let's really unpack what makes these eco-luxury villas in Phuket stand out.
Okay, let's do that. So the Ocean Worldwide article jumps right into this growing appeal of eco-friendly luxury in Phuket. It's not just about having a fancy villa anymore. It's about one that's, well, kinder to the planet.
And that's a significant shift, isn't it? The whole idea of luxury expanding. It's becoming less about just pure opulence
Yeah.
and more about responsibility. Maybe a different kind of status symbol.
Precisely. It's what Ocean Worldwide calls sustainable living in paradise. I mean, imagine that. Waking up in Phuket in a gorgeous villa, but knowing you're doing it respectfully, environmentally speaking. It's more than just a holiday home. It's like a conscious lifestyle choice, enjoying Phuket's beauty without adding to the harm.
And if you look wider, this really taps into a bigger trend, doesn't it? People wanting their choices, even big ones like property, to line up with their values, especially environmental ones.
And these villas, they're designed differently too. The article talks about integrating nature and luxury. The whole design philosophy seems to be about blending in, using natural materials, lots of open space, natural light, ventilation.
Creating that seamless flow between inside and outside.
Yeah, exactly. Making the villa feel part of the amazing Phuket landscape. It's a world away from a standard hotel room feel.
That design approach, it suggests a really deliberate effort. Minimizing the building's impact and maximizing the harmony with the local environment in Phuket. It seems focused on creating an experience that's both luxurious and deeply connected to nature.
Which naturally leads to this rise of eco-conscious buyers. Ocean Worldwide points out there's this growing group of people who actually prioritize the environmental footprint of their property.
Right.
They're actively seeking investments that match their values, and that's a big reason for the demand for these places in Phuket.
So these aren't just people looking for a splashy holiday pad.
No, they're looking for sustainable investments, and often the article suggests they're prepared to, invest a bit more for a property that's built right, environmentally speaking.
Mm-hmm. And the article mentions the wider trend of eco-resorts too, right? Which kind of reinforces this shift.
Exactly. It underscores that this isn't just a niche thing anymore.
No, it feels more fundamental. A
Yeah.
sort of reassessment of what luxury really means today. Enjoying the good life, but without compromising your green principles. And with environmental awareness growing, plus demand for responsible investments. Well, those are powerful forces in the Phuket market.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk money. The financial benefits. Ocean Worldwide's article gets into this, starting with high rental yields.
Ah, yes, the income potential.
Right. Phuket is just consistently popular, a major tourist hotspot. And it attracts a lot of visitors, especially from places like Europe, North America, Australia.
Who really value privacy and exclusivity,
Yeah.
more so than maybe just a hotel room offers.
Exactly. And that demand for high-end private places lets villa owners charge, well, premium rates.
Especially if you've got the private pool, the amazing views, the things people picture when they think Phuket Villa. It's interesting how direct that link is. Phuket's tourism appeal feeding directly into potential profit for villa owners. The article's right. Though location within Phuket, unique amenities, good management, Those are all key to actually getting those top rental incomes.
And Ocean Worldwide gives some concrete examples from their experience, like properties in prime spots, say near Patong Beach, maybe within a kilometer or so, they see much higher occupancy.
Makes
And unique extras, like having a private chef available or concierge services, that justifies a higher price tag.
Right, the value adds.
And obviously, good management and marketing can't just buy it and hope for the best. That boosts income too.
These are really practical points for anyone thinking about investing in Phuket. It's not just the purchase price. You have to understand the local rental game, how to position your property to really tap into that demand.
Okay, moving beyond rental yields, the article also talks about capital appreciation trends.
A long-term growth potential.
Yeah. Ocean Worldwide notes that Phuket's property market has shown pretty consistent long-term growth in value, which makes these luxury villas look like potentially solid long-term investments.
What are the drivers they mention?
Things like Thailand's generally stable economy, Phuket's lasting appeal as a destination, those contribute. Plus, there's growing interest from international investors, which also helps push values up.
And presumably, Ocean Worldwide tracks this stuff closely, right? The data showing villa prices rising alongside tourist numbers and economic growth. That would definitely back up the idea of consistent appreciation in Phuket, especially in the luxury end.
Especially in those prime coastal areas where, there's only so much land available.
Right? Supply and demand. That scarcity helps values climb over time.
And then there's a brief mention of potential tax advantages for investors.
Always an important consideration.
Definitely. The article stresses getting proper advice from a tax advisor, of course, but it mentions things like potential depreciation allowances, maybe deductions for management costs.
It just highlights how important that due diligence is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Getting expert financial advice when you're investing, especially overseas in a place like Phuket. Understanding the tax side can really affect your overall return.
Okay, so let's dig into the Phuket market itself a bit more. Understanding the Phuket real estate market, how does Ocean Worldwide describe the current trends?
They paint it as pretty resilient, actually. Property values generally heading upwards, especially for well-built properties. And, matching our theme, there's this growing interest in sustainable developments.
That resilience is definitely a good sign for investors, isn't it?
It suggests the Phuket market can handle economic bumps and still remain attractive. And that sustainability focus just adds another layer of long-term appeal for these eco-villas.
And the demand for luxury properties, specifically villas offering privacy, exclusivity, that remains strong.
Very strong, according to the article. It emphasizes Phuket's overall package deal. The stunning scenery, sure,
Yeah.
but also the culture, the existing expat community, and crucially, the easy access via the international airport.
Right. All those things make Phuket attractive for holidays, but also for people wanting to live there longer term.
Exactly, which fuels both rental income potential and the potential for property values to increase.
It caters to a lot of different people. Holidaymakers, retirees, expats,
Yeah.
all looking for that high quality of life. And tourism is the big engine driving a lot of this, right? The impact of tourism on property values in Phuket.
Absolutely. Ocean Worldwide likely points out that cycle. Tourists come, they need places to stay, demand for rentals goes up.
Which makes investing in villas look good, leading to good rental income for owners.
Precisely. Phuket's reputation keeps that cycle going. People want high-quality villas, private pools, modern design. It keeps demand high.
So that link between tourism and the property market is fundamental for investment in Phuket.
Yeah, that constant stream of potential renters makes owning a villa there a very attractive prospect, especially if you're looking for an income-generating asset.
Okay, so if you are considering investing, location is key. The Ocean Worldwide article really drills down into key locations for eco-friendly villas in Phuket. They make the point that where you buy isn't just about the view, though that's obviously huge in Phuket.
Right. It's also about convenience, future development nearby, how it fits your lifestyle.
Location, location, location. Still true. It affects everything. Rental potential, long-term value, just your own enjoyment of the place. So what are the popular areas they highlight for this kind of investment in Phuket?
They mention a few key ones. Bang Tao is one.
Bang Tao. Long Beach, lots of luxury resorts, good restaurants. Laguna Phuket. It's always popular, lots of new stuff happening there.
Then there's Kamala. They describe it as more relaxed, maybe more family-friendly. Nice beach, quieter vibe.
Okay.
And Layan, That's positioned as more of a hidden gem. Tranquil beach, very laid-back feel.
So different flavors depending on what you're looking for.
Exactly. And the article suggests these areas offer that mix of luxury living and environmental awareness that fits the eco-resort idea in Phuket.
But investors need to think carefully about which vibe suits their goals, right? Bang Tao's energy versus Kamala's calm or Layan's seclusion.
Definitely. And it's not just the vibe, it's the practicalities, proximity to amenities.
Right. The article emphasizes thinking about what you need close by. Shops, restaurants, nightlife. Or is peace and quiet the main goal?
They use Bang Tao again as an example, with Boat Avenue and Porto de Phuket having lots of dining and shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala's got a decent selection too, apparently, while Lan is naturally more secluded.
And what about schools or healthcare? If you plan to spend more time there.
Good point. The article likely suggests factoring those in too, depending on your plans. These practical things matter a lot for livability and rental appeal.
Absolutely. And then there are the views. Scenic views and accessibility in Phuket. Can't forget those.
No way. The article probably contrasts beachfront spots with those hillside villas that offer the big panoramic ocean views.
But it's not just the view, it's getting there. Accessibility is crucial.
How easy is it to get to the airport? To other parts of Phuket? Local attractions?
Even things like road conditions and traffic matter, the article suggests.
It's always a trade-off, isn't it? Finding that sweet spot between the most amazing view and actually being able to get around conveniently.
That balance is key in a place like Phuket. Maximize the beauty, but keep it practical.
Finding that optimal compromise definitely enhances a property's appeal.
Okay, let's get into the eco part more specifically. What makes these villas eco-friendly? The Ocean Worldwide article details the sustainable features, starting with energy efficiency.
Right, this is a big one. They talk about integrating tech, like solar panels.
For electricity, hot water. Makes sense in sunny Phuket.
And things like high-performance windows, good insulation, really important for keeping cool without cranking the air conditioning constantly.
Reduces reliance on it. And smart home systems.
Yeah, automating lighting, temperature control, optimizing energy use that way too.
So these features aren't just good for the planet, they actually save the owner money in the long run, right? Lower running costs.
Exactly. Especially electricity bills in that kind of climate. It's a tangible benefit.
What about water? Water conservation systems.
Also key, the article mentions rainwater harvesting becoming more common.
For watering gardens, maybe flushing toilets.
Yeah, non-potable uses. And gray water recycling, treating water from showers and sinks to reuse, maybe for irrigation.
Plus things like low-flow taps and showers. Standard stuff now, but important.
Definitely. Especially on an island like Phuket where water can be a precious resource. It shows responsible management and, again, potentially lowers utility bills.
And it's not just tech. It's the actual building blocks. Use of eco-friendly material.
The article highlights prioritizing locally sourced timber.
Reduces transport emissions, supports the Phuket economy. Makes sense.
And using recycled materials, reclaimed wood, recycled concrete in construction or landscaping.
Plus non-toxic paints and finishes. Better for indoor air quality, less harmful chemicals overall.
The article apparently stresses this isn't just a nice-to-have trend anymore. It's becoming a core part of responsible building.
Yeah, the choice of materials really impacts the whole environmental footprint of a place. Moving towards local, recycled, non-toxic stuff. It shows a real commitment through the whole life cycle. Okay, so beyond the green features, what are the lifestyle benefits of owning one of these places in Phuket? Ocean Worldwide touches on exclusive community living.
Ah, yes. Many of these villas are in gated communities, right?
Yeah.
Offering security, a sense of belonging.
Maybe social events, shared facilities, connecting with neighbors.
That community aspect can be a big draw for some buyers. Security plus social connection with people who have similar values.
And then the amenities, access to world-class amenities.
This is where the luxury really shines. Private infinity pools, gyms, amazing gardens.
Access to beach clubs, maybe fine dining, spas. It's like having a five-star resort experience, but it's your own place.
The article gives an example, right? A 4-bed villa with its own pool, gym, home cinema, even 247 concierge.
Yeah. That level of amenity just takes the living experience way up. Incredible convenience, recreation, wellness, pure luxury.
And on top of the facilities, there are the personalized services and comforts.
Right. The article mentions things like private chefs, housekeeping, personal trainers.
Making it completely effortless.
Exactly. Taking care of all the details so you can just relax and enjoy Phuket. No homeowner stress.
That level of service is really tailored to that high-end homeowner. a completely hassle-free, indulgent lifestyle.
But it's important to be realistic. The Ocean Worldwide article does cover potential challenges in the luxury villa market in Phuket.
Good. Need that balanced view. What are the main ones?
First up, legal considerations for foreign buyers.
Ah, yes. Thai property law can be complex for non-Thais.
The article explains the restrictions on foreigners owning land directly, the common use of long leases, or setting up a Thai company.
Crucial stuff to understand.
Absolutely. It stresses getting good legal advice from specialists and keeping up with any regulation changes. It's non-negotiable, really.
Navigating foreign legal systems is always a big part of international property investment. Understanding Thai law is essential to protect yourself in Phuket.
Then there's market volatility.
Like any market, it can go up and down.
Exactly. Phuket's luxury market can be affected by economic shifts, tourism changes, global events, things outside your control.
So what does the article suggest?
Diversifying investments is mentioned as one strategy to manage risk, and just staying informed about market trends.
That's just sensible investing, isn't it? Acknowledging that markets fluctuate and having strategies to deal with potential downturns, especially relevant for Phuket.
And finally, the ongoing costs, maintenance and management costs.
Right. These luxury places don't look after themselves.
The article lists the usual suspects: property upkeep, pool cleaning, gardening, security.
And if you don't live there full-time, you'll need property managers, which adds another layer of fees.
And the article wisely suggests having a contingency fund for unexpected repairs. Things always come up.
Definitely. These ongoing costs can add up, especially with big luxury properties with lots of features. You absolutely need to factor them into your budget from day one.
Yeah, understanding those costs is vital for figuring out your real return on investment.
Okay, so who's actually building these places? Let's talk about the role of developers in sustainable luxury in Phuket.
Ocean Worldwide emphasizes that the good ones go beyond just sticking solar panels on the roof.
It's a more holistic approach.
Yeah, using innovative building practices like passive cooling design, using those local sustainable materials, really thinking about minimizing the carbon footprint throughout the project.
So the developers are really key in driving this whole sustainable luxury segment forward in Phuket.
Absolutely. Their commitment to using these better practices is crucial.
And how do buyers know if a developer is genuinely committed?
The article points to the importance of a demonstrated commitment to environmental standards.
Like certifications.
Exactly. Things like a LEED certification, that's the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, a big global standard for green buildings,
Okay.
or adhering to ISO 14001 for environmental management, plus doing proper environmental impact assessments.
So these act as proof, a signal that it's not just greenwashing.
Pretty much. They offer buyers some assurance that the developer is following recognized best practices for sustainability.
That's valuable. What else?
Maybe the most important part, the article suggests, is collaboration with local communities in Phuket.
How so?
It argues that true sustainable luxury isn't just about green buildings. It's also about creating jobs locally, supporting local businesses, respecting the culture.
Investing back into the community.
Right, maybe funding schools or healthcare. The article gives an example of developers partnering with local artisans.
So it's about responsible development that benefits everyone, not just the villa owners.
Exactly. Enhancing the local environment and supporting the community. That applies to luxury condos in Phuket, too, the article notes.
That holistic view environment, society, economy that feels like genuine, sustainable luxury, fostering shared value, contributing to Phuket's long-term well-being.
Okay, so if someone's listening and thinking about this for the first time, tips for first-time investors in Phuket. What does Ocean Worldwide suggest?
Number one, unsurprisingly, is researching the market thoroughly.
Digging into the different areas in Phuket, property prices, getting a feel for the vibe.
Online research, talking to people there, and ideally, visiting yourself, seeing properties firsthand.
That groundwork is essential, isn't it? Understanding the local specifics before jumping in.
Absolutely foundational. Knowing the nuances of different Phuket locations is key to making smart choices.
Second tip, understanding local regulations.
Back to the legal complexities for foreign buyers.
Yeah. The article strongly advises getting a good lawyer who knows Thai property law inside out to guide you through leaseholds, company setups, all that.
Makes sense. Expert legal help is vital for first-time foreign buyers in Phuket. Avoids potential nightmares down the line.
And third, Evaluating property potential carefully.
Looking beyond the nice photos.
Exactly. Considering the location, yes, but also the rental income prospects, potential for capital growth.
And the actual condition of the place. Any repair costs needed.
It's about ensuring it's not just pretty, but a sound financial investment too.
Right. Assessing the tangibles condition, features, and the intangibles income potential, appreciation potential, a full picture.
Okay, looking ahead now. The future of eco-friendly luxury villas in Phuket. Ocean Worldwide seems pretty optimistic about predicted market growth.
They do, citing that growing global environmental awareness, combined with Phuket's solid reputation as a top tourist destination. They see those as key drivers pushing demand.
That combination green awareness meeting Phuket's established appeal does sound like a strong foundation for growth in this specific market segment.
And they also talk about shifts in consumer preferences.
The guilt-free luxury idea again.
Exactly. The more people wanting sustainable materials, energy efficiency like solar and smart tech.
Villas that blend with nature, maybe even things like organic gardens, farm-to-table dining options.
Yes. The article mentions Mira Valley as an example of a project tapping into that.
So consumers are evolving, wanting authenticity, connection with nature, even in a luxury settings. It's a more conscious approach.
Which leaves Ocean Worldwide to conclude these villas have strong long-term investment viability.
It's not just a fad.
Apparently not. They see it as a solid long-term bet because sustainable features are becoming more valued, potentially boosting property values.
Plus the lower running costs from energy efficiency.
And the strong rental demand from those eco-conscious travelers. That segment is growing.
They mention interior villas as another example, offering investment opportunities here.
So the article ties it together nicely. Sustainability adds value, efficiency cuts costs, and tourist preferences boost demand. Makes a strong case for long-term appeal in Phuket.
Finally, the article zooms out a bit to consider the impact of global trends on local investments in Phuket.
Bringing the bigger picture in.
First, the influence of climate change awareness. It's driving demand for sustainable options everywhere, right?
Making these eco-villas in Phuket more attractive to buyers and renters who are prepared to pay a premium for responsibility.
So global awareness is directly shaping the local Phuket market. Sustainability is becoming a key selling point, a driver of value.
Then there are shifts in travel preferences.
People wanting more personalized, sustainable trips.
Exactly. Which plays right into the hands of luxury villas in Phuket, offering privacy, exclusivity, and that eco-conscious design.
Like the villas with organic gardens catering to travelers seeking something more authentic and sustainable.
That shift towards more mindful travel aligns perfectly with what these villas offer,
Yeah.
tapping into a growing group of travelers.
And technology's role, emerging technologies in real estate.
Yeah, things like virtual tours making it easier to view properties remotely.
And smart home tech enhancing the appeal and value. Controlling things remotely, optimizing energy.
Even using data analytics to set the best rental rates.
So tech is changing the game too, making marketing and management more efficient, adding convenience. So Ocean Worldwide concludes that this convergence of trends, climate awareness, changing travel habits, new tech, creates challenges but also big opportunities in Phuket.
And the key is for investors to adapt.
Yeah. Prioritize sustainable design, integrate smart tech, really target those eco-conscious travelers.
Makes sense. Adapting to these big global shifts will be crucial for success in Phuket's luxury villa market. Understanding what modern conscious travelers want.
The article briefly mentions the wider impact too, and suggests checking the Ocean Worldwide website for more detail.
Right. The ability to adapt will definitely separate the successful investors in this evolving Phuket landscape.
Okay, let's try and recap our deep dive, drawing on that Ocean Worldwide article about eco-friendly luxury villas in Phuket. We've really explored the potential for pretty attractive rental yields thanks to Phuket's enduring popularity.
And the positive signs pointing towards long-term capital appreciation in that market.
And crucially, how this type of investment lines up neatly with that growing global focus on environmental sustainability.
Yeah, exactly. Those factors coming together, highlighted by Ocean Worldwide's decades of experience right there in the Phuket luxury market since 2004. It does build a pretty compelling case for this niche.
So here's something to leave you with, a final thought to mull over. As this desire for both luxury living and genuine sustainability keeps growing stronger all around the world, how could Phuket, with its incredible natural gifts and this increasing focus on eco-development, really position itself? Could it become, the ultimate global hotspot for truly responsible high-end living?
That's a fascinating question.
Definitely something interesting to think about, that intersection of indulgence and impact.